according to John, the 10th chapter. At that time, the festival of the dedication took place in Jerusalem. It was winter, and Jesus was walking in the temple in the portico of Solomon. So the Jews gathered around him and said to him, "How long will you keep us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us plainly." Jesus answered, "I have told you, and you do not believe. The works that I do in my Father's name testify to me, but you do not believe because you do not belong to my sheep. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they will never perish. No one will snatch them out of my hand. What my Father has given me is greater than all else, and no one can snatch it out of the Father's hand. The Father and I are one." This is the gospel of the Lord.
Has this ever happened to you?
Emily, you get over here right now. This prophet is not going to eat itself. I will give you 2 counts. 1, 2, 3. That's it, young lady. No video games for you tonight.
Really annoying, isn't it? But you know something? Moms have been doing this for centuries. In the Old West, moms sounded like this.
Billy Joe! You hustle down here now. These freaks ain't gonna eat themselves. Well, I'm gonna give you 2 counts. 1, quick number. 3, that's it. You ain't going to the rodeo.
In ancient Rome, when people still used letters for numbers, moms sounded like this.
Come down here now. This Caesar salad is not going to eat itself. Get us down here. I shall give you to the count of B. I, B. That's it. No gladiator fights for you.
On the other hand, moms in ancient Japan, the land of ninjas and samurai warriors, were not
You have not eaten your fried breast. You will eat it now.
Yes, moms have been trying to get their kids to eat for a long time. But with good reason, they want us to eat well. They want us to be responsible and they want us to be good, loving people. Moms don't nag us because they like it. They do it because they love us. And moms love their kids.
Grasshopper. Mother love.
Moms from Rome love their kids.
I love you, my little emperor.
We love them in the Old West.
I love you also.
Even today, moms love their kids.
I love you, Emily. And that is very sweet, but you're still not playing video games.
On.
time. How about you? Is there a food you don't like? You want to eat broccoli? You don't want to take this home? No. Good fresh farm fruit, right? Yeah. Okay, I don't like cottage cheese. That's my favorite. And my mom eats beans. Yeah. Oh, beans. Any kind of beans? Wow. Okay, but when your mom tells you to eat these things and you don't want to eat them, why does she do that? Is she just trying to be mean? No. Why does she want you to eat things that you don't like? That's right. She wants you to be healthy. She wants you to grow big and strong. He's got it. So let's say a prayer for our moms and thank them for their guidance. Dear Lord, we're going to thank you this morning for moms everywhere. And even when they get mad at us and try to get us to do things that we don't want to do, we know that they're thinking of us and they're trying to do what's best for us because they love us. So we thank you for this this morning.
That is the sound of I love you, Mom. I have to say, this kind of weather is just the kind of weather I like to have on Mother's Day. So it's an easy convince to say, yes, how about I just stay in bed all day and you all pretend like I'm taking a nap and everyone has to be really quiet. Stay awake. I love this kind of weather that doesn't give you any guilt for not being outside and you can stay in your pajamas. So I will take full responsibility. It's good to be with you. Ironically enough, I was here for Good Shepherd Sunday last year, but it was in mid-April. I spent far too much time thinking how fascinating it was that Good Shepherd Sunday last year was April, and now it's mid-May, and yet Jesus is born on December 25th every year, regardless. It was a brain stumper inside my head. So if any of this sounds familiar, you're welcome for the refresher course. This is not, I promise, this is not the exact same sermon that I preached last year, but I have preached a stunning number of times on Good Shepherd Sunday. So this is truly what I believe, and something that I in fact think about a lot, because we talk about Jesus as the Good Shepherd a lot, right? And we proclaim ourselves to be the sheep. We never say that we're like the bad sheep, but we are the sheep, right? And we hold up the 23rd Psalm as sort of like our favorite psalm, and we have it memorized fairly easily, most of us. And today, although there wasn't as much talk about being the Good Shepherd as I expected, other than, on the front of your bulletin, sometimes it feels like it's an election year for the role of the Good Shepherd. As though there's like all of these, 25 other candidates to choose from, and we are choosing Jesus as our Good Shepherd. And all the other ones are kind of scoundrels, and we're not going to fall for their lies that they're telling us just to get them to choose them. We're here to pick Jesus as our Good Shepherd. But honestly, the big question for me isn't who I choose as a good shepherd, but if I am willing to be a sheep, which I'm not. I'm not a fairly willing sheep. I don't think any of us are. Most of the time in church, we are challenged to be Christ-like, but we're not today. We're not challenged to be Christ-like at all. We're challenged to be followers, not leaders. This text isn't about us becoming shepherd-like. We're serving as a junior shepherd under Jesus' command and mentor. If we are to be sheep, I remember last year, maybe it was one of these families sitting closer, right here, and you guys have sheep, don't you, right? And your son was like, I got sheep, right? He's hiding from me now because he remembers it also, right? And we talked about what sheep are like, right? And are we willing to be so fiercely humble that you know you need to be led, taught, corrected, and directed at every turn? Are you willing to put your trust, your total trust in a shepherd, someone else, to meet all of your needs? You don't get to say what you think your needs are. Someone else is going to meet your needs. The shepherd is in charge. They're not asking your opinion. They're not asking, is this part of your plan? They're not asking about that great idea you've had for your life. Really, what's sort of your next goal? No, the shepherd isn't asking that question of you. My younger daughter is horribly unleadable. She is completely non-compliant at all times. I could offer her a candy bar and she would refuse, and then turn around and say, Mom, I want a candy bar, and demand the exact same thing. But all things have to be her idea, her initiation. You can hand her exactly what she wants, but if she didn't ask you for it, she will say, no, thank you. She is not 3 years old. She is soon to be 6 years old, but this pattern has been so consistent with everything from taking off a coat to eating pizza that I assume she will be like this until the end of time. She's generally a non-compliant human. My other daughter is the exact opposite. She is overly compliant. She allows everyone to make decisions for her. And she will almost never refuse me. And if she knows that I think something is a bad idea, even if it's okay for her, every now and again to have a candy bar, for instance, she just will say no because she knows that at one time I said no. Neither is the ideal, right? You want your kid to be able to say no at the right times, when it's appropriate. You also want your child to say yes when it's appropriate. So how do we be good followers and still think for ourselves? I kind of want my daughters to learn from each other, right? And so I invite you to consider where you are in this whole sheep business. Are you the person who, really is not ever looking for advice, is not ever looking for a suggestion, or are you the person who maybe depends on others to make your decisions? And there's obviously a wide spectrum in the middle. But this notion of being sheep to one shepherd, of being followers, that's what we're called to be, followers. It is to me, who was, I'll be 45 next week. I was raised to be a leader. And this notion of blind following, basically, is kind of un-American, how we have all been raised. I was raised to be independent, to be responsible for myself, to work hard to achieve what I needed to survive for myself. To make goals and achieve them because of my hard work. Not because someone else decided what it was for me. I grew up when we were all taught to be leaders. I am so accustomed to providing myself. You maybe remember this from last year, because I'm so humbled and kind of humiliated to share this. But in the past, when I have traveled to friends' houses, and I know that they're not as committed coffee drinkers as I am, I will bring my own travel mug, coffee maker, and coffee, so that I don't have to wait for them to make it. Because I know that they sleep later than I do. I know that they don't make coffee like I like it. And so I'll just make it myself. It's no big deal. I'm that person who doesn't trust the host to provide coffee for me. I'm that independent. I've been through many leadership trainings in my day, workshops, classes. I've never been to a good followers workshop. How do you let other people make decisions for you? Have you been to that workshop? Maybe if you were like at a workplace, you go to a manager's training, but do you go to a followers training? Has anyone been to one? How do you let other people make decisions for you? How do you trust people to feed you? We just don't do that. And to be completely honest, I am not easily led. There is a reason that I teach a yoga class, because I am not the greatest participant in a yoga class. I'm better here than I am there. I don't really like to be told what to do. I have a wee bit of like my youngest daughter who likes to make the initiative. I don't appreciate when people tell me no and put a limit on what I can and cannot do. I expect and assume that you want to hear my opinion and that my insight will be taken seriously in all situations and that you will value it. I bet you do too. I don't think I am so wildly arrogant that I'm the only person who likes to make decisions for themselves. Am I? No. I know that the church has taught us lots of platitudes that I maybe should have listened to better or understood better about being a good sheep. But mostly all we hear is about the good shepherd. And again, that's not really up for debate for me. Right? That's not my problem. But the daily living of my faith, in the midst of my hopes and fears, my ideas of what happens next, my loneliness, my grief, my pride, what on earth, in the flesh, does it mean to be a good follower, to be a good sheep? This is my idea. This is what I think. This doesn't mean this is what I live out, but this is what I'm guessing it means to be a good follower. First of all, humility. Remembering that you don't always have the full picture. You may not be completely right all the time. Remembering that our vision is always clouded by our own experience and fears and expectations and all sorts of things. Remembering that I'm not the only one in this flock of sheep. And that when I go wandering off, distracted by bees or birds, and I'm stuck in a thorny bush, Jesus is going to go after me. But that means that Jesus is going to go after that person who always seems to be wandering off into that thorny bush. It's not all about me. It's never been all about me. And this relationship between me and the Good Shepherd is one of love and commitment, but it's about all of us together. Sheep is a singular and plural word, right? You are a sheep, we are sheep. Singular and plural. And as soon as I assume that I am extra special and uniquely loved by Jesus, the Good Shepherd, I set myself apart from the rest of the sheep, leaving me vulnerable and alone. You need all of the other sheep. It's never just about you and the Good Shepherd. Do not confuse the metaphor of the Good Shepherd. God is not actually asking you to be the Good Shepherd. God is not asking you to be the shepherd when you take a leadership role in the church, no matter how good you are at it. No matter how essential you feel in that role. You're not a shepherd. You're a sheep who has agreed to do that task in the church. Jesus is the Good Shepherd. You are not looking for a new Good Shepherd to be your pastor. You are in search of another humble sheep like you, willing to be paid appropriately to do the work of helping you all together follow the Good Shepherd. Just like some of you are humble sheep paid to do the work of scientific research for all of us, or teach our kids, or be our nurses, or fix computers, or sell tractors. I confess that when I was a pastor serving churches, I too often assumed the role of the Good Shepherd. I got confused with that metaphor. I assumed it was my job to be in charge, to set myself apart, to lay down my life, to go after every sheep that wandered away. And I think the congregations where I served were confused as well. It can be confusing when we stand up here in robes that look like this, when we're given lots and lots of deference. You don't just call me Rachel. Do not confuse the metaphor. You are not looking for a new Good Shepherd. You're looking for a humble sheep. Just like you are a humble sheep. Because the real danger in making your pastor the Good Shepherd is that then they are set apart from the fold. And they are vulnerable and alone. Do not confuse the metaphor. You are not paying them to be the Good Shepherd because you cannot afford that. You are looking for someone to be a humble sheep with you, as together you do the work of following the one Good Shepherd. Remember that you are sheep, that we are all sheep in need of a fold, together, dependent on the one true Good Shepherd. Amen.